Video. Good. Okay. All right. Welcome, friends. It is such a pleasure to be here. I'm really, really excited. Thank you so much, Alyssa, for getting all this together. And I know that this is just the beginning. I feel like just the three of us and the synergy here, we've definitely opened a door here. We've opened an energetic opportunity. And it's always fun to be the beginning of one of those opportunities. So my name is Michele Coombs. My company is True You Human Design, branding, marketing, strategy, and sales for people, entrepreneurs and small business owners who are the face of their business and want to make more money. And there are lots and lots of reasons if you are the face of your business that you may not be earning what you could potentially be. And especially in the wellness space, there's a lot going on there in the process of asking for money. You know, the phrase we hear a lot is own your worth. What does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean? Because at the end of the day, either depending on your philosophical proclivities, you're either worth nothing, or just matter, part of the earth and all that wonderfulness, or priceless. So how do you put that in the middle and slap a dollar sign on it? So I got into this particular work watching so many of my friends and colleagues work in the part-time jobs, slinging espresso, frustrated and really unhappy, and then carrying that into their work. And I think healers and the people who are out to make the world a better place should be making the most money. Because where does that money go? When good people have money, more good things happen. Charities get money. There's donations, there's gifts, there's new there's new initiatives. People get supported. Like, the good people should have the most money. That's my theory. So how I got involved in the crazy world of human design. So I've been in the coaching and the business world for almost 7 years now, and around a lot of very heart-centered, energy-driven, very philanthropic people. And a few years after that, I was getting into human design, but I was just doing it for myself. It was just my own gratification, my own spiritual journey. And what I discovered after a few years of like really diving deep into human design is that it could be used for all those beautiful healers to improve their business model, to improve their marketing, improve their branding, so that they are connecting with the right people. And there's the push in general in branding and especially in social media about authenticity. Be yourself. And yet a lot of the people that are held up as, oh, they're so authentic. Are they? We don't really know the answer to that. But we hold ourselves and say, well, I need to be like that person in my industry who is famous and who has lots of followers and who is making a lot of money. I need to be like them. Well, number one, you don't know if that's who they really are. Maybe they don't know who they really are. And second, that doesn't actually work. It just doesn't, because at the end of the day, authenticity is about truth. And I love that line in Almost Famous, where she's talking, she's asking the young man like how old he is, and he says 19, and she goes, me too. And he goes 18, and she's like, me too. What was her name? Polly? I can't remember. I have to watch it again. And finally he hangs his head and he says 15. And she goes, see, the truth just sounds different. And there's something to that. I think that you can call it a spiritual concept, or maybe it's just thousands of years of human instinct. We hear the truth differently. It resonates in a way that makes us go, oh, we lean in. Even if it's an uncomfortable truth, the truth itself will always get the most attention. Do not let the cynicism get to you. Yes, there's a bunch of bullshit out there, but at the end of the day, the truth will always get the most attention. So it's not just about saying this is the truth about what I do, or this is the truth that I see and speak in the world, although we'll certainly get into that. It's about the truth of who you were born to be, and then letting people see that. And at the end of the day, if we're looking at this from even a cold calculating business proposition, those are the people you want to work with, especially if you're in the wellness industry, you're working with energy, you're working with auras, like maybe you're taking some of it on energetically. You want to be around people that you like and that match you, that you can serve in the strongest way possible. So a few years into the business, the entrepreneurial world, had been studying human design, and last year ended up closing one business, and people started asking me about this crazy human design thing. Like, what am I talking about? So I started printing people's charts and being like, here's all about you. And basically discovered I loved it because I see a chart and it's perfect. Like every time I look at a chart, I just see perfection. Like the perfection that you, August, were born with. And then we take that perfection and like, here's your purpose, and they always match. They always match. It's amazing. So my job essentially, when I'm not coaching people, is to tell them how awesome they are. It's the best job ever created. So the way that I start that process, and this is how I begin with all of my clients, used to do like the 1 hour model and realize that the magic really takes 2 hours. So we start with a 2 hour deep dive, and I'll show you. So the first thing we look at is your personality sun. So this little guy right there. This is your brand, plain and simple. If you're into the gene keys, this is called your life's work. This is about 70% of the energy that other people feel from you. This is your first impression. This is what, from an energetics, I'm just going to say the word aura a lot. So when you're in someone's aura, this is what their aura feels from yours. This is what they think of you before you've even opened your mouth. So if you can really identify and distill what that specific vibration is, give it a name and really embody it, and then filter that kind of language into your marketing and your messaging, then you have a brand that is, what's our favorite A word today? Authentic. So, prize for Alyssa. So people, it starts the conversation off a conversation with anyone, a client, a stranger, a coworker. They leave after interacting with you going, oh, that was really refreshing. And then if you're talking about marketing, they start interacting with your content. They read your ebook, they go to your blog, they go to your website, they follow you on social media, and you are exactly who they expect you to be because you've opened the conversation with the truth of who you are. And it gets to that know, like, and trust very, very quickly. And what I like on the side of us as the practitioners is that we can show up every day just like who we are. And that one little number, can change a lot of things for people because it shines a spotlight on where we are being true and where we're not being true. And sometimes that's where the work begins. You know, we have this answer and it's like, okay, how am I not representing that in my work? And people feel it. People feel if they're static or if there's interference, if you're hiding, if you're trying to be someone that you're not, even if you have the best of intentions, people will notice that. And then you don't get as many clients. So that's your brand. The next thing we look at is your personality, Venus. Excuse me, we go on to Venus next. So this is Venus, and this is your ideal client. It is your ideal client and the problem that you solve for them. So Venus is all about relationships, all relationships across our whole life. This is literally the life lesson that we chose to learn with other people. This is the thing because there's life lessons, and then there's life lessons you have to learn in community. You have to learn them in interaction with other people. So when you can identify that Venus, it tells you what your values are when you're interacting with others. And it tells you where that other person, so picture you and your client, even you and a stranger, you and a potential client, you're in a relationship. This relationship is opened, it's energetic. And whatever that lesson is, you've been working, excuse me, I'm very excited. You've been working on that thing your whole life, even if you don't know it. You've been working on this thing. It's something that you know deeply and intimately, even if you don't know you know it. So that personality Venus is a little bit of a superpower. So once you identify that vibration and that language, you can identify your own experiences and then talk about those experiences. And people who feel the same way will say, oh my gosh, August is in my head. How's August in my head? Because again, you're just speaking from a place of total truth and authenticity. You don't have to make anything up. I think that's where a lot of people get hung up, is they think social media is all made up. The best social media is not made up. So this gives you an inroad to how to speak so that you're talking directly to that person that you can help, because they feel like you feel, but you've been working on this your whole life. Mm-hmm. So you come from a place, it gives you a very, very easy sense of authority. And again, you're just talking about what you know. You're not making anything up. So now we have the brand, we have that ideal client and the problem you solve for them. And next we go to Mercury. I like the Mercury symbol. It's got the little antenna there. And it's probably not meant to be antenna, but Mercury is all about messaging and communication. So I'm like, oh, go little antenna. Mercury is the truth, the capital T truth that you came to Earth to share with other humans. So this is the truth you're here to deliver. So what we do is we take the brand and that ideal person that you're talking to, and we wrap it in your truth. So this is how you describe what you do. Island A. So we start with Island A. This is, are you feeling this way and don't want to? Mercury is how you describe that journey to Island B. Mm-hmm. So for instance, let me think of an example. So organizing. You can talk about it in a dozen different ways. Your work doesn't change, but you can talk about it in terms of uncluttering. You can talk about it in terms of let's get organized. You can talk about it in terms of we're blending families and we need to know what to get rid of. I just got divorced. I don't know what to keep. My mother just passed away and I need to organize her house. So there are dozens of ways that you can approach the work of organizing. So if you wrap it in the fact that, I mean, let's say your Mercury is something akin to helping people be at peace. Then you talk about organizing as, do you just not feel at peace in your own home? Let me help you with that. It's my mission to do so, and I do it through the medium of organizing. Yeah, it's beautiful, and it always works. You know, my first couple of times, I'm like, because nobody taught me this. Like, these are the things that I've put together on my own, and there's always a theme. Always, there's always a theme. It always fits together, and you can tell how much like inner work someone has done if it's pretty close to what they're already doing. And if it's not close to what they're already doing, then that's a whole different kind of conversation that you get into. So those are the three things that we talk about in terms of what's on the outside of your energy. And then we look at what's on the inside. So in human design, we've got the personality, which is literally exactly what it says. It's who you are in relation to other humans and other energies. And then the design side is literally your body. It's your spiritual journey. It's a legacy. It's your health and vitality. It's how your brain functions. It's how you're built. So there are some things that we can look at, your design Mars and design Venus, which tells us what's the best business model for you. Are you born to be an entrepreneur? I have really disappointed a couple of entrepreneurs. I'm like, you would be a lot better off in a small company or a family business. And they're like, oh. And then we usually get into why, you know, they had a family business and it was a disaster and they don't want to do that again. You know? But that doesn't mean they won't thrive there. Some people, the exchanges of energy, so much about human design is the exchanges of energy. And some people are just designed to interact more. So after we talk about the messaging and the marketing, we get to that really important point where is your business healthy for you? Are you functioning in a way that is not wearing your body down? Are you honoring your own system and your own energy? And in this really urgency, you know, we were talking about sales, it's urgency. Everything is urgency, 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 urgency. And basically we're all moving too fast. Even the generators with all their energy are still overwhelming their own capacity. And then you get into glorious manifestors and projectors and reflectors, and there's no keeping up with this pace. There's just not. So it's helpful to know that information. So if you start changing your business model, if you're starting something new, even if you're just changing your marketing strategy, are you doing it in a way that honors who you are? Let's build from that foundation so that 5 years from now, you still love your business and you're more successful instead of burnout. That's, I mean, that's kind of the end.
Yeah.
Right. That is the end of the road for the pace that many of us are keeping, especially in the entrepreneurial world, because we love to work.